old structures that we could not salvage, we took it down. Still busy at work removing the rubble. Platforms as well. On the platform side, it's again the quicker container stuff that we need to put in there for shelter. But here it's going to be the offices, and the team is busy with the designs for this. It's all clean on the platform, and on the other side is the TLB waiting for you to operate. He's still thinking about it.
You want us to move?
Yeah.
Okay. Minister, let's move to that side.
Yes. So a quick explanation. This line joins Naledi line in New Canada. That's where they branch off. I think when we turned there, you would have seen that the Naledi OHTE staff has gone past the New Canada portion. And what the plan right now is to shuttle on a diesel, connect these communities here in the interim while we're sizing and quantifying what we're going to do with this line as part of the next phase.
With the prepared tour that we prepared for, this is where it ends. And I think maybe I just need to say on behalf of the board that yes, as we have been telling you, Minister, that some dust is been coming up on different stations. We can confirm it that here today, that at least, in fact, even last week when we were here, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like this. There were still lots of issues to be dealt with, but we're happy that at least the progress is noticeable, as you can see. I don't have, this is actually the minister's program. But otherwise, I need to thank you for the support that you're giving to the board all the time, and making sure that we do what we need to do. Thank you.
Well, thank you, colleagues. Thank you, Chair, and the members of the board and management of PRASA. I think we have arrived at Kliptown. We started in Pienaarsport, Kudus, Poort, and then we went to Tembisa. You ran out of explanations and Victor disappeared. And then we are now at Kliptown. That has been done. That we said that coining the theme reconstruction and recovery is what signifies this. Where stations were brought down by vandalism during level 5, and now we are undertaking the mission to reconstruct. And then reconstruction goes hand in hand with recovery, and not exclusive from one another. You reconstruct a place that has been through acts of negligence in terms of governance, because if there were reconstruction, we would be talking and emphasizing modernization. And the modernization was scuppered by lack of governance, which has basically brought us to where we are, because modernization is a program of PRASA. When you run an entity like PRASA, you deal with rolling stock, you deal with everything that you deal with, that at some point that rolling stock reach its time and you've got to replenish. So that is when modernization came into place. It take into consideration that your aging rolling stock must be done away with, then you bring in the new. And that is where we found Danota come into being. And we celebrate 100th train. And that is what that modernization is about. That modernization is about the building of new train stations, which are basically aligned with modern station construction in the world. And all of that work did not take off. If it did, it was actually scuppered along the way. And whilst we're on that journey, we then had to contend with the question of recovery. Because at some point, after 40 years of the trains running non-stop, we stopped them at level 5. And when we stopped the trains at level 5, it brought us this of the stations like Kliptown were actually brought down. Meaning what you saw as this station before, it came to this. And then we are now in the process of recovery, and that is what we are doing here. So I want to talk to the board today and the management. First, with that prelude, let me explain this to you, simple and clear. Anyone who's not going to toe the line here and who's not going to understand what we want to do which South Africa at large understand. The reason why people here toy-toying is because they are listening to us. They believe in us. They've got hope that these things will change. So we are not running a film here. And I want to chair and your board that anyone who's going to stop this work, anyone who's going to stop us from coming back to life and get this work going, they must voluntarily leave this organization and not waste our time, or we'll push them out. And it's not going to be nice. I want to say that message to you today, on top of where I'm standing and your board, because I cannot understand anyone who has accepted to participate in this process and from where we come from and see all of these things and then decide on a different path. On a different path altogether. I wouldn't understand that. And from my part, I would be prepared to part ways with those people in terms of shareholder of this. And coming to the management of PRASA, and that goes also with Chair, the decision making. We don't have the luxury of running PRASA like we have the luxury. That is why we recommended the war room in your strategy, because the war room is a faster pace. Now, in the it's not going to be the case. In the it's not going to help us get anywhere further. I've long said the board must come to me with suggestions, blockages, whatever that you want from me to help you to move with speed. I've been in meetings with Treasury to expedite processes that relates to unblocking financial capacity of this place. And that is what I've been in the forefront in terms of those, because I understand that under normal circumstances, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have to go to Treasury myself, because the board and the we're talking about will be to understand that. And the reasons why the board have arrived at in terms of the CEO, it precisely because of inability to move faster in terms of the agreement that we've reached on things that need to be done and be done quicker and faster. And then we have had to take decisions that have come to a point where in which CEO of the company, in terms of their contract, was discontinued. Precisely because of ineptness, moving at a faster pace in changing things for PRASA. That is why those decisions have been taken by the board. And that's why the board has been taken head on some of these things. I'm not happy about our clarity of thought in relation to how we deal with irregularity. I'm not happy. And how we articulate that. And how you deal with irregularity in relation to also irregular contracts at PRASA that you have inherited. And that some you are going to continue to deal with in terms of this. The explanation we give, it's not that it's inadequate, but it's not convincing. We are not moving with a decisiveness and clarity to say that, no, Shifambo, 1, 2, 3 happened, clear, out of the way. Siangena, out of the way. Irregular contracts, this is where we are. So many people are suspended. So many people are undergoing this. This is the board. This is the board that must have clarity on those things. Okay? The board must have clarity on those things, because they've been dealt with by reports of derailed. And when I explained to the press this morning about Popomlive, and at the same time, Siangena, and I talked to you, Chair, and I talked to Popo. I'm not accounting to Popo because he was raising with me the issue that how can it be that PRASA, he was inquiring, by the way, that how can it be that PRASA board has got under the carpet agreements with people on corrupt products when it is supposed to defend the decision and do away with corruptness. Now, I said to him, I'll come back to him because I was in DRC. I came back to you. And it was clear that there is no such. If there is anybody who has done that on behalf, it is not the board. The board must explain itself. We have never had a meeting where we agreed on an under-the-carpet agreement with Ferreira. Why is it difficult for the board to explain that? The same as it is easy for you when you dismiss somebody, you issue a statement. Why are you... You must clarify that because there is no minute of the board that arrive at that decision. To basically have an under the carpet. If anyone individually went to meet with Ferreira when they are meeting, wherever that they are meeting at night or during the day, it must not be made to be PRASA's decision. That must be clarified. Simple and clear. And then that is the matter that must actually be clarified. Like you clarified, and I said to you, talk to Popo and clarify. I sent to him, I said, they said PRASA will defend, there is no such a decision. So you can go to your interview on state capture and then speak whatever you want. But PRASA, from where I'm standing, this is what the chairperson says to me. And I said to him, nothing like that will happen under my watch because that's tantamount to sustaining the league and all of that. So I'm saying I'm not happy about clarification. And we need to clarify issues more. But at the same time, the follow-up on dealing with the delinquency in relation to what has happened in the past, there must be clarity around that. And the chair of the board or whoever assigned, whenever it is necessary to explain, that must be dealt with. If people are on DC, the board must clarify DC, when does it end? Can't be open-ended. Okay? Can't be open-ended. And then people can try their tricks as you reported, but it must be dealt with. So we must deal with irregular contracts. We must be able to explain. And I'm saying this knowing very well that there are decisions in terms of the SIU that the board has processed. And I'm saying package those things as a follow-up from this oversight and clarify the public. I know you account to Parliament, you don't account to the media. You don't account, the media is the public by extension. So, but you need to clarify those issues. In my view, before the end of the week, you clarify, you issue a statement, here is the status quo at PRASA. These are the issues that the board has dealt with. And then you issue that statement. Not names. Not Mbalula or whoever is being suspended. So many people, clarify it and make follow-up on those particular issues. And some of the issues will be pending if people are fighting through litigation to defend themselves. Even the corrupt defend themselves. That's what happens. So that is what the board need to clarify. Now, coming to the management of PRASA, there's a lot of things that the board must deal with. The organogram, the story of Top Heavy, I've listened to it. I'm still waiting for the organogram. Let it come. And then we finalize it. I don't have a problem with that. So let's deal with these things from your level and justify why board meetings meet. You see, so that it shouldn't be like you meet and then it's luxury because you are ticking the box because you want to be paid or you're paying yourself, because that's what you are going to be attacked about. You are meeting, what have you done in your meetings? You see? So this work that is being started of recovery is very important. It must be budgeted, it is budgeted, it must have time frames. It must have time frames. To that point, David and the team, there is no project you run without time frames. Project management, time frames, and who's in charge. You were diving and diving this morning, there, in the morning, about time frames. I don't like that. And it's the last time I say that. And you are acting in this position, you are not a problem to deal with. So So you have been given an opportunity here to prove yourself and your team. You see, don't make us sick before dawn. You are supposed to explain. You are in charge here. What are the time frames? Project by project. You've got 40 corridors, right? You have chosen 10, and you explain beautifully why. Then you stuck on time frames. You are not sure. You are not sure what you are dealing with. The public protector has given you the mandate. The irregular contract AG have given you the mandate that you are running a corrupt arrangement here of friends. Mnige. Yeah, that's what you are running here at PRASA. Friends. Billions of rands. People look at each other and delay this work that we're supposed to do. I have said to the chair and to you at some point, why is there an evenness in terms of Cape Town and Johannesburg? When I go to Cape Town, recovery program was moving fast. The only criticism at Cape Town was the amount. That Kapara calling millions like as if they are from his mother's grave or whatever, that it is 10 million, minister, 10 million. I said, hey, chief, you can't have a station that is 10 million here. Station upgrade is 10 million. Where is the board? Where is the board? 10 million and all of that. 10 million. We don't have money now in this country. But the work has been done. I see it there in Cape. I criticized them about that. And then I said, that. And I asked the chair, why there is a discrepancy? Why in Gauteng, the recovery of stations? And I was told the story. You know, I was told the story, Metro Rail, here, this and that, and all of that, and so on. There are people that the former administrator appointed here. Some of them have left. Okay? Metro Rail does not have a person and all of that. Acting people were appointed. Yes, it is the management's prerogative to appoint people. Yeah. But you can't take people who are studying theology and deploy them here to come and run trains. No, that thing can't happen. I'm making an example. There could be an extreme one. You can't say Mbalula must go and act in a post that require engineering expertise. And Mbalula is a mere theologian. And he's got masters in theology. Bible is to get masters in that thing is easy. You know? And then you say, go and manage a project temporarily that has got no engineering hold. And I suppose even yourself, David, we put you here because you are part of this thing. And you are the only manager standing. That's why they put you to act. Otherwise, I come to a. So we've got to bring those people. That is, again, is the responsibility of the board. Now, you've got to take decisions in relation to who act in what. What engineering spec? I came to you, I said, look at Netherlands. Look at the stations they've put in place, quick and fast. And then it is still happening even now. It has not happened. What is this? The containers. They are not there. Because we're comparing prices. And then I was told by somebody at some point when we were doing the check on the recovery, somebody told me that, no, minister, no. I said, why can't you bring down Mayfair and put the nice stations? They are cheap. And I'm telling you by now, you wouldn't be waiting here and then playing some movie. That I must go and ride on DLP. The Kabeli DLP is Ogonian is as a Sandral, where work is being done. Not in those process, Gananian, Kabeli DLP in the Lekwa Ayo Apa in the next 2 weeks. Kuto Minister Beteli Post go DLP, Gamako as a Pras, Giza up and all of the Kabeli is as a Prasam in Kelilungi Sipele, Volmaran start, Post go greater. This is my post go greater man. Ambani ninanwe ikabela kala la greater, then I'll come after you. And then I'll come after that greater. Because that greater is going to disappear after 5 days. And then they'll be hounding me on Twitter. Where is that greater? Mbalula ikabele up, taking us for a ride. So I'm talking to you that, you see, when I went to your war room, and there is a man running that war room. He's got a brilliant capacity. And then I made suggestions, and even to look, you don't have to deploy everything once at the go. You can deploy everywhere and recover the lines, because trains were not running, and give contracts to our people got capacity, and not take one contract or HTE, Razmataz LTD, PTY LTD, everywhere. Uapota ki Razmataz. We are on Kimnike. If you break these contracts down to 10 corridors, you say OHTE or what, maybe signal because it's something different, then you will wait. But there is no reason to wait for others if you break down the contract. And because these people who are stealing these lines, they think they are entitled to work. So when the work hearing finishing, he tells these people, cut them. And then you open a space. You are stuck up with one man for the rest of your life to be fixing demand. Decentralize the work, give people work, create jobs. That's what this company should be about. Create jobs to our people, decentralize. Don't give one contract when it is unnecessary to one person. That person is going to hold you at random. Because there is a problem. You have given so much work to one person because you must benefit. And then you come here speak English with us. You don't do that. You decide, you decentralize. Our work will be very far. Very far. Ninala, comparing to ESCOM, your job really is ingani kakul. PRASA, you don't have a big job here. Comparing the problems that man Reiter is dealing with, there's not even a board there. You don't know whether there is a board or no board. But it is the Reiter alone. They're promising us load shedding will be done this afternoon. You see, yeah, you've got a board, you've got managers. And that brings me to procurement capacity. Treasury raises this issue with me. And then all people raise the issue. Your procurement at PRASA is a problem. And then the question is going to arise, what have you done with that? Now, guys, let me tell you, Lucky Montana state capture is going to be behind us very soon. And it's not going to be a good explanation to say why things are not done here. Not even later, now. This thing, everything, Lucky Asalio, he's fighting his battles there. Whether he's fighting for his life, I don't know. But he's fighting there to clear his legacy in this place. State capture is over. All right? We work when you commission. Mina, I've said it, you heard me. I said we don't need a commission to chow another money. We need people to be arrested here. And we need people who are assigned responsibilities, governance to do their job. And the board must support people who are management, who are supposed to do their job. And then they must hold them accountable on time frames. So that the acting CEO is not jittery to say, I'll be done with this thing in 2 months. You know, when you run a farm, I ministered this thing, I was in a place there in DRC, I lost my suit. And then a guy just looked at me like a prophet, said, that's your size and that and that. Hey, he brought a suit, feeds me the following day, like I was in Beijing, China. Things are happening in the African continent. And a proper suit, you saw me suit in Gimtle, here with DRC. Day, a man just looking at me, turn around, sir, turn around. No, are you not writing down, he's speaking French? He was keep on going back and forth. And he came with a suit, the suit was proper. Now, that man is confident of his job. Now I come to Funeko. You are supposed to explain this thing. I was here with ZK Matthews. He was running frightened. He had never put his foot here. When I came here with the media and everybody, he was promising me 5 things off his head, unprocessed. Minister will follow the model of Mabupane. And all of that. That there is no model here. Because first thing, when you look at the place, you intervene in the place that you know, and you know what is the solution. You know when and what you want to achieve within what time. And you know what are the pressures. You don't run around like you are confused, you are frightened. No. Victor, I ask you a question, and then you say something different in the next time. And then that other time, you were very... No, you know, still, this will happen. When we arrive at Lirala, Minister, no, I meant Karemun. Don't throw your engineering jargon at me. I'm not an engineer. I want the trains to run. You said to me that thing. You are changing it from copper to something. Now you are adding. No, not entirely. No, don't speak. Don't say that. When you say to me that you are replacing everything here, copper is out. I'm not an engineer. And then when I go to the next station, you change the story. We have a Katu David up every day. I'm not here to do all of those things. What I want here is progress and implementation. You are employed here for that. Don't come with stories here. This company is broken. It can't be broken forever. We've got to deliver. When I say to Parliament, and I speak to the people, and I say, by September, October, the trains will be running. I need to be clear about that. You know, I'm coming this way. I look at the HTs you fitted here. They run in between communities. Some are around Orlando West. You know, trains there never get affected because the people patrol there. But what is PRASA's security response to ensure put this, it is actually protected? So when I conclude this journey, those are the remarks I wish to make. And I hope that scathing as they are, I wish to put them the way they come, you know, in my mind and in my analysis. Undecorated, and so that they stay with you. I normally talk to people the way I do, and they don't take me serious. And when I act in the quiet, they don't see even me coming. Because where I'm going now, I'm not folding my arms. I'm not folding my arms. My mind is working all the time. And my mind is here. This place, when I look at the price of petrol, every day I wake up, I think about what is the cost for the households. When the taxi people are saying they're going to raise their fares and all of that, I say, what is the cost for that person? Train that is not running. And then I'm not going to be played here by people who don't think serious, but accept for themselves. I'm not. On one, I'm prepared. I've lost friends. I've been blamed for that in my life, but I will be happy one day when I leave here. And even when I'm dismissed for the truth. You know, and even when I leave without dismissal, I leave very happy that I've done my job. Because there are the taxis running there, the trains are not running. This line is very important to our people. The trains are not running. The trains are not running. And let me tell you, we are here for the second time. I've said this to the chair. By now, as we come. Look, we are finishing another year. The year is over. Last year already, when we brought the CEO, we announced, we thought by now the train's recovery will be done. It didn't happen. And somebody told me along the line, it's not going to happen. And I didn't believe that somebody. He told me, he said, that thing that you just announced there, it's not going to happen here. that person is announcing something he has never seen himself. It's not going to happen. Now, I am saying that the board must be in charge on holding those with responsibility, because you can be lied to by people who are in management, changing stories, lying and lying and lying. I don't run PRASA on a daily basis, but you are the board. You've got to meet your deadlines. I'm telling you right now that last year when we were here, is it last year or last of last year? Last year, by this time the trains should be running here. There's no explanation. Explanation we've got is ineptness, lack of service delivery and oversight and leadership. That's what is the problem at PRASA. And people, middle management, who think they can stop big things in the organization. No consequences at all. By now, as we speak, we should be doing the TLB and all of that, but the train should be running. Yeah. Diesel or whatever. Leonard and them, they went to Spain to get the locomotives, because when we get those locomotives, our problems will be resolved. Shosholoza will be running. We are not going to ask locomotives from Transnet and pay exorbitant monies, or private and pay people and all of that. Money is going to be invested properly. There's a lot of opportunities here, cleaning of trains and all of that. When we stopped the trains, after 14 years, these trains running, they didn't have doors, the windows were messed up. But the trains were running at least every day. And then they got to stop, people arrive late at work because the cables have been cut. Now, we sat down, we looked at that work, we got a report, we were told that this work is being done. Today we are on top of the bridge. Again, second year, the trains are not running. At least somebody has fallen who was supposed to execute. Uwile, no muwe kanjani, but uwile. We about somebody uwile ngomqolo pereketle, munna uwile mo. So, utlo wabanna mo. And utwanzu webanna, and also we banna mo kabakala mereko. Utlo walona ntatera matlakana, kibatlu butama urki ya useba ka usani kubua hampi ki haulela rutlo wantate abutloku, because auntusi. You are not helping me. If na kitilika wen, batu baba mpota potile mo liditui ya ka ufela ditontia mo ka toitoi mo. Urno Mbalula londu yenza yo ailunganga. And then tabeli si khale le President Ramaphosa mo. Le Ramaphosa adi Mbalula wani upalwa ki di train. And ile nnete di train ya di tsamaya. And then nabe ki potsa ki dutse le mosadi wa ka le bana ba ka re ile o Ramatlakane ke mo boloketseng ko PRASA ka oba hantusi ka next nna. And I come bolela Ramaphosa le ena straight matlong gore monno le ke a motlosa le pot ya ya ba nthusi ka fokol. Are he ke re eya. Skale lona le mpleletso re le ya motlosa CEO la re le motlosetsa la re ha re thusi ka next ka re haye ha ke tluthiba next mo. Wa utlwisisa a ke a re a tsamaye ke runa saile. Yeah. A ke tluthiba because I want this work done. That is what we want. Linna ke to a ke sa delivery mo linkemela mo or no di trinity kai a ke re ke a bua fela le re di train before bua di trinity kai. So I just want to explain that you see, because I know I work very hard. I woke up very early today, and then to this work that we have started as I conclude is very impressive. It's very impressive, very impressive. If you can put your foot flat on it and focus on its delivery, this work, I'm telling you, even by September will be very far. And if you are, according to me, meeting every end of the week, evaluating this work from David and his team and get things done, look, you've got my support. You've got my support, and that's what I want. That's what this country wants. coming to me every day, wake me up and say, Minister, we are going to open a train corridor called Soulsville. I woke up even at 4, excited. The trains are running. Cape Town, the trains are running. KZN, the trains are running. That's what excites me. Okay? Now, we must not play marbles around here in terms of the work that we're supposed to do. So I am saying to you, Ntate Ramatlakane, that this work must be done on a daily basis. There is a war room I visited at PRASA, and I saw it. Saw people doing work. You know, Alec was here as a DG of transport, doing war room work. And he was doing a proper job. Within the space of 2 weeks, there was a difference. You know, they used to recover, not like this. The war room was focusing on making it a point that the trains are running. Okay? They will get into the room. The CFO will have problems with signing things and all of that, up and down, things not being done on time. But the war room was there to ensure that things do happen. When I appointed Mpondo, I withdrew Alec, and Mpondo came in. And Mpondo started to meet resistance here in PRASA. People who told him that they can't take orders from him because he's illegal. They didn't indeed take orders from him. And then we went to court and we lost. Now you are a legit board. You take decisions. The buck stops with you. It stops with you. Things, if they are not moving within the time frames, why? What is the problem? Why are the trains not running on time? The recovery program you have implemented, from what I've seen, I'm very impressed, Victor, from Pienaarsport. Pienaarsport was running. It has stopped. Remember that. Okay? And it was our model during Alex's war room of a recovery line in terms of operational expenditure that people were prepared to pay, and because the train was running on time. I don't know what happened, and then it has stopped. Okay? Stations, I'm repeating again. I've given you a model that is cheaper of reconstructing the stations. You are not going to have Kliptown in its former self. What we need here is a station that is properly constructed nicely. At least there is something remaining here. Quick and fast. In 2 weeks' time, if you copy the model of Netherlands, these stations will be up. All of them in Gauteng. They will be up. But Kutwa, there is what secret, what is this? PRASA Crest. Whenever I see you and I remember the stations. The CEO acting. The stations are not coming up and all of that. We no longer need something 7-star. That will come with modernization. We need a quick and fast arrangement. But if you look at Netherlands, even the container stations, they are clean, they are proper. And then look at them. Beautiful, done, and cheaper. Nobody will steal a container. Ngizwile omnye ubaba esithi uPumbalula nguye lo mfana omfitshane ekhuluma lapha phansi. Mina nalaba bantu bala eduzana ngeke bazothatha lutho la. They will never steal a container bayoyibeka apha. By the time he's halfway with the container, we will find him. We will find him. When he steals a container, angeke ngitsho apha amaphoyisa angeke ngisho afike nalapha. Sabe sesimbophile umuntu ngecontainer. So there's nobody who's going to steal a container. Properly constructed, you implement. I know they are up and down about it and all of that and so on and so on. It's not been implemented. I can't force you. I'm the minister. And if the board and the management of PRASA is not going to get things done, yeah, they will never be done. Sizohlala sikhathwa njengabantu abasitshela ukuthi bavala ama-potholes bengawavali. So I know the board before I came here. You came, you saw for yourself. So when you talk about time frames on the corridors, at least you know what you are talking about. Anybody matota no we are active 17 aka active forever. unikezwa isikhatshana nje kuthiwa kwesisikhatshana uactayo and umuntu oactayo simkhupha noba kusebusuku asidlali naye sinasikhathi somuntu oactayo uyabona siyofuna omunye futhi so umuntu oactayo une time frame this and that and his team and PRASA chat doesn't have people. You must employ people. Umeleni angazi. You've got to employ people. You can't have people who don't know how to run trains. You put them in positions to act. You can't. And I'm putting it bluntly. It's like taking me and say I must be responsible for Metro Rail. The whole night. No. It's chief. This thing, you must do this, and then kufiku Victor. Ayang level. So then minanguya report getting pet. You need an expert. An expert. Yes, CEO cannot have expert, but leadership and quality. But when you come to this thing, it train. Bayaxoka labafana. Nalamantombazana. Bayaxoka. Baxoxele mini nje. But as minister, lama pewe fanela swashinche ama ashangenile apuma AUS. It's a new railway thing. Awuyazi lutho kumnyama ebusweni benkawu. Uyavuma lo nonsense le. Now you need an expert who's going to argue and say no. This thing the minister is saying about the train, about what is this thing? Stations of containers can be done. You need an expert who's going to say, Mbalula ishoyo. It can be done. It can be done. It doesn't fit that pipe. And then you see the container minister, why they are using it in Netherlands. You won't understand. They are using it in Netherlands because there are circumstances there. They are not compatible to South Africa. And then in South Africa, that's why we've got to do the whole thing. We are now. Explain to minister, we are yay! Angiyazi ngempela ke le khulunywa la angiyazi uyayivuma nayo. Now you can't have a minister who's not an engineer. You have a chairman who is not an engineer. You have a CEO who's not an engineer. And then silalele engineers is stock sale. Uyayilalela lonto. Yes, it's like having a DG ongazi lutho ngetransport. Nama ngazi lutho ngetransport bangitshela ukuthi no indlela iphelelwa yiconcrete mayifika pha. And then sivume yonke lonto. Okay, that's fine. And then we agree on that. So you've got to move on this thing of people here because this organization is depleted. Capacity is important. It is important. When I see semblance of some security, we used to bring people here at PRASA, some generals, umntu kuthiwa njengugeneral ngoba walwa iphimpi awuyazi but kuthiwa igeneral fike la igeneral izilungisile ijongisa ikepse la ecaleni uthi uyambuza general uyayibona lempizayo ngapha yes and then kuvithike yonke into ekhona kanti a security expert it's somebody who understands how to protect the network. The security expert is somebody who understands that I need intelligence to gather in order to deflate whatever that is coming my way. To protect the network, I need the following things. Bafika la ePRASA umuntu sekethole ibrief estrateni ku service provider sifuna ama drone drones akayazi ne drone kuti operate kanjani. But the first thing he comes and tell you when you ask him about security, he tells you that he needs drones. Tell him to operate one. Agayazi. Ngobutoli brief ku service provider kuti yazi lapha. General sinembobo pa yema drones so supply nje. You are going to be sitting with drones here with people no one knows how to operate them. Don't add value to your security plan because the person who designed the drone is not the one who understands how it is to be utilized and deployed. It's like people tell you that apa sifuna ma hippo for amapoise, yet we don't need hippos. And then but lama hippo ngawa planta ku N1 sifuni motors balega sifuni hippo. We don't need the hippo on the N1. We need fast cars. Ngoba silwa nabotsotsi lapha. Sibulala abotsotsi abagijima fast. So asizubangana ngehippo. And we need well-armed police, not pistol. Magati, stop. Seke kokilu peti rifle. Agazuti, stop. Abe pete pistol. So that highway patrol must be well-armed. It's like, yeah, utu designer indonga yazio, and then that is it. That's not here. We need people who know security, know what to be deployed, and how it used to be utilized. You know, at PRASA, it was so painful. I used to call people when vandalism was happening daylight. Abantu bathatha amazingila. Bahamba nawe emini. Abantu bangibonise ku-Twitter ngoba ndiku-Twitter. Wena ukho chairman ku-Twitter. Mina ndiku-Twitter. Abantu bangibonise daylight Mbalula amazinga yabiwe Kliptown. Ubona itsotsi yo akhumkhukhu laphana daylight. Ngithumele PRASA kuthi ugeneral usalungisa. General. Amba mazinga phela he ugeneral ekhona. No response. Contingency plan, you take a decision, uguti security companies are not helping us, but you don't put a contingency plan. You can get security, other entities of the Department of Transport. What you are doing now should have happened then. It is not happening. With the riots, one thing that ZK got right. Minister, there is a problem. There are people who are shooting left and right. I said, so? And then he said, no, I think of deploying and insecurity. I said, do it. And indeed, they attacked heavily. And then in other areas were defended. That's the right decision. Otherwise, today is Kuluma after the riots in a park station. Now, we have people here, but they are not there. And the board must ask that question, not Parliament. Why are we paying you here? Every month, but isn't what should we do to, if there is a security plan, ni implementa kanjani? There is no longer a plan now that has not been tested. Something that doesn't work, you cancel it. You start afresh. Now, it's not ad hoc, on and off. You run this place full time. This place is run full time, not open up. We're running it full time. So the change that I'm seeing, I'm not going to ululate. I will come back in September, but it is up to you. And now you even know where you've got pitfalls. I've said this thing, even Parliament have said them, and we know what we need to do. Capacity, procurement issues must be addressed, solidified, done and dusted. We must be in a position to support this recovery plan and be evaluated. The recovery plan must be evaluated, Chairperson. You must get regular reports. Regular reports. How far are we weekly? Is the war room doing its job? How far are we? What are the problems? Components that must go into the trains. Kotongwana says to me, I was with some of your people there at Treasury. He says to me, he's not even aware that some stations are. He says, "Ndiboni station." Esihamba ubonakalisa ukuthi niyasebenza iPRASA ya ina capacity dithi masiyemabupani akakafiki nangoku. When I called him ube khohlele sithi use Free State that azozulunga. Dithi masiye this morning he was nowhere to be found. So there is work that is being done. I don't believe in make me nice. I don't believe in that. And I'm saying to you that the stations with a revitalization plan, you can revitalize these stations with a new plan. All of them, quick and fast. Even before September, they'll be up. Only if there is willingness and decision making and programs. Let us not focus on things that are not going to add value. Maybe at a later stage, we can. The priority for PRASA is governance. Get it right. governance. Secondly, bring the trains back to run. Then if you have failed on everything, everybody will say, no, Golando Taye coal plague is amile matodi train nazis yam. We have on. Everything else has actually failed. So you will be chasing 100 things, but the following will be running. And then deal with governance, proper things that need to be sorted out in terms of the AG and all of those things. David, meet the deadlines. The deadlines we have set for ourselves, let's meet them. And we can see the work is being done. So there is no reversal of that particular work. So I'm saying in conclusion, Chair, I'm happy, but I'm not ululating. And this work that is here, I can see it's hard work. There is somebody out there who's putting their time and their passion into this thing. And that somebody must be supported. But there is somebody out there who don't want us to succeed. Because the story of these trains must become a failure of this government. The story of these trains and PRASA must become a failure of this ANC government to have run down SOEs and all of that. And indeed, when people come here and see stuff like this, I was in the African continent and then I was doing a mission there in DRC. They want us to build airports for them. But some of their airports, because there's been war, they are like this. Now, there's no war in South Africa. Look at our train stations. I was in DRC with airports company because we build airports. We build Brazil airport. We build Indian airport. That's what we do. So in DRC, they want us to build their airports. But the airports that I've seen, they are like this. And yet in South Africa, we are not under attack from war. This is how a human being has run down a railway capacity we've got. Gone. And we can't be proud of that. And if these things are not going to change faster, I don't know. Obviously, I will repeat what I said. Heads will roll. And that's what is going to happen. So we need a better report. And when we come back, the board will lead us back to this process. I've supported the board because I know that PRASA is not an easy terrain. And for me to think that you can make changes overnight, it will be delusional. But equally, the board must not reward me with failure and delinquency. They must not do that. Then nifigela, nikutele, nisebenza, down the line, you start to argue about things you are not supposed to be arguing about among yourselves. I'm not saying that is the case, but I'm saying we need to be clear. We need solid mission. That is why I've never had any problem, because we are on track. So if you are solid and you hold everybody accountable in terms of what they're supposed to do, it is not your... David is putting his time into it, and we must not live here with him being demoralized. And when he goes to his kids and say, when he drinks his wine or whatever he's drinking, so when whatever that is drinking, wherever he is, fuck man. So when somebody, his heart is there, give them the kick. Give them the kick, support them. When their heart is where you want to go, don't demoralize them. And I kept on emphasizing that CEO acting can be changed. So you don't have to worry, because people can be changed. But give people a change, a kick, especially when they are acting. But nani ningahambi niyo actisa abantu kwi position David abangana capacity madoda. No, that one I refuse. ufika la ubize uphi umuntu orana lento ubani uthole kuthiwa ubani bani kanjani. How? When there are so many people, there are so many engineers here who know their job. Yeah, give them an opportunity to act, and then we run. And then let's not kick people down. Let's give them. But when you see that indeed, la, I see now, you must just say, because you've got board meetings, you evaluate reports, you sit down, you look at things. You don't debate petty things and elevate them to strategic issues. When we put together at this board, we look at accountants, we look at lawyers, we look at engineering capacity, we look at governance people. When we put together this board, we looked at age. That's why Ramatlakane is the oldest here. And Udaya is Noel ngobufihla age yakhe. And Ramatlakane, we brought him here to pull the team together. Because I know I put the board together. And there's only one woman who resigned here because of what she was a civil engineer from the University of Cape Town. And I'm supposed to replace with 3 other board members. No, now in terms of skill, the board should be reinforcing each other. Not to do the wrong things, but to bring the skill to bear in terms of the company. We didn't just wake up and say, Ubani, Izala. No. And then we look at good balance of gender-based balance. Abafaz. We looked at age. That is why Matoti is the youngest in the board. Otherwise, young people are known for being irresponsible and not focused. But we gave him a big opportunity and put him in the board of PRASA because he's an engineer. We want him to prove himself. So that Matlaka laskayetsa alamo ubutuna libo Daniel mtim kulubatsi ba mmereko mari ditrini disalekan. Basatsibi engineering. So that's why we went you and your qualification raubeyamo Matoti. Urintotse wrong skata etsala le teng o advise board or Ramatlakane wena ke a tseba dia o betha tse ye I now look itsamaka mkhwa. So that there is balance. That's why we brought you here. We didn't bring you because you are a cousin of somebody. We were looking at the names and we went a long way to interview. I said to my team, interview these people, check them out. We didn't bring you here to come and waste our time. We don't want that. We want work to be done. Because of governance. Can you run from a corporate governance? You must understand what is between yourself and management. And you first start by building that management. And then you know, I can't cross the line. Because you've got the experience, you've got the knowledge, you've got the education. And then when we are done, we then say, no, Artli said the accountant, then accountants will help to be able to understand that we are compatible with the AG in relation to what assets of the company and all of that. And then we bring those expertise. And then so that Skabara lose the case, Larry lose it, lose a fella kamaba. Rekisabat Pamula Batlor advisor, the contract at Sebana Ramatlagan into a where the locomotive Liri look 11 Navan, Kamulao. And then I look is a Kamulaura. In terms of Mulaur Kasi, so I think the board must take this. Those are the expertise we have brought around here. That must run this company. So when somebody says, we just woke up and collated people riff-raff, that's not what we did. And worst of all, majority of them, they are black and African. That's what they are. They are black and African. Now, all what they did, but then re mo prove right or ntwe ngwe le ngwe re tshwarang rona yawa o kila utlwa di racist go tweet but what did you expect from them? Meaning our black government, we can't run things properly, okay? And we've got the expertise. We went to school for this thing. Artisans and everything, we're getting it from elsewhere, but we're building artisans here in the country as we speak. Engineers, here are they. We are not getting them from elsewhere. We are getting them from here in the country. So who's going to transform this PRASA if it's not you? If you fail on that task, you have failed our people. These people, yeah, we have failed them. If we can't deliver on this thing, we will have failed them dismally. So I'm saying this thing of monitoring this work, we are not doing it because for the sake of it. It is something that is doable, and we've got the capacity to deliver on it. It's not something we don't have the capacity to deliver on. We do. And we have people. If we don't have people, we will go and find them and bring them in. And we don't have to waste time about that. We work with people who want to change this place for the better. Those who don't want, ship out. Go home. Go sheba di lotso batlang di sheba go hae. Runa re tswelle pele ka mmero wa setšhaba. This is heavy duty. Heavy duty. And that its timelines must be linked and be respected. And that is what is important. Because up until these trains are running, we will not have delivered on our task. We do have the money to build modernization. That work must continue. You must do what is right. That work must continue. It must not wait for anybody. But you must recover the lines. That report must be permanent with you, Chairperson. The lines, with the CEO acting. Where are the lines? How far are we? Are we being lied to here? What is the problem? This thing must happen. This must not happen. And so that you hold them accountable. There is no bigger responsibility at PRASA at the present moment either than to bring back the trains. There can never be another one. Leave those people of Transnet who hide behind you for their failures all the time. There is a big problem we're dealing with there because they themselves there are faced with a number of challenges in terms of Transnet. It was hollowed out by criminality and state capture. Transnet itself, no bigger vision. Logistics and freight, it's still in the road. It should be on the trains. It's not there. The platform we're running on is a platform of Transnet. The Shosholoza Mail is not running. Trains used to run up until Mafike. They are not running. So you need to sort that thing out. And I know why they are not running, because of locomotives, diesel. You know, because it's expensive, diesel. You know. We must get those locomotives. You say 6 months. Those that are 6 that are here, we must get them. We must get them. We must work like we are mad. So when you have board meetings resolving those things, I'm happy. But if you have board meetings to discuss ulelega muntu for 6 months, no. Into yomntu ofuneka xothwe or who must be sent to the DC can't take the board 7 years. If somebody is wrong, subject the people in the processes. The processes will either retain or reject them. The most singular important issue here is to get the trains running. Not uhambu defender na nomtonga deliveranga ni the PRASA who didn't do their. You signed a contract with everybody. Let them go and defend it in court. You will defend it. It's your decision. Because they did not meet the requirement of what you want. So what? Uzotala umenga lonto unyakuti yophela discussing DC yamuntu. No, guys. DC issues must be put in their place, be dealt with, and be closed. and then they must run their course. And that is what is important. So I wish to thank you. We will not meet here very soon on this bridge. I don't hope. I believe when we meet again, David will be driving a different TLB, himself and Leonard and the board. And then this place will be totally different. And the trains will be running here. Naledi trains will be running. Blue, yellow trains will be running full capacity. So I'm emphasizing World Cup approach. World Cup approach. The deadlines must be met. The deadlines must be met. The work that has been started, it has shown us it can be done. Look at Mabupane. It's back, it's running. The president had the breakdown. It didn't take us long. It was quick, done. Yekelani uktata i-mandate ku-service providers PRASA. Yekelani. Kasi tutluelang unka mandate ubatu ba liba hirile. Liba filen di tender. Stop listening to people you are giving tenders how to run this company. Stop listening to them. Because for them, it is a quick win. It is a quick buck. But for us, it is the reversal of this work. They are going to advise you on bloated things, inflated prices. They are going to advise you about how to cut corners in this place. You are going to delay this work. A project that is supposed to be finished in 2 weeks will be finished in 6 months. Because you are taking a mandate from service providers, not from the board. From service providers. It is them who are cutting corners here in this place, who are messing up this place and running it down in collusion with some of you here in this company. And that's why we can't make a simple progress. Simple progress. It take us a whole year. Because you are listening to people you are not supposed to be listening to. You are listening to people you are giving work. The person you are giving work here, you are listening to them. They are running PRASA down. One day this company will close down and you will be unemployed. You'll end up in these shacks. You'll be unemployed. And some of you will end up in jail. Rest assured. You'll end up in jail because you will be arrested. Who thought that state capture will be discovered? You do things in the corner. Someday, sometime, some week, it will come out. It will come out. The things you were doing, thinking you are in charge. You know when you are given power, drunk in power. One day you do illegal things here, you think you can run amok and not follow the right processes. One day that will come. Ask those we advised in the past about state capture. They didn't believe it. Hey, this thing that you are doing, sitting with some crooks and all of that in some corner. Barry White was on our case the whole 6 months. Repeat it again. Come again. We were standing there. Repeat it again. It was with us. We had to explain ourselves. Explaining ourselves. Mbalula, why did you say this and that? It's not nice in that box. It's not nice. So when you do those things, one day you explain yourself. I'm advising you, like Desmond Tutu will say, I'm warning you. Okay, I'm advising you. Do the things right and accelerate the pace. This thing, we should have long finished it. This job, we should have long finished it long time ago. The recovery. We should now be busy looking at modernization, the station we're building and all of that. But trains should be running. back on track. Askakabuyi train. Askakabuyi. Uyabona lento le ndingayenza ndindodwa ngecompany yami Razzmatazz ngiconnecte lezi OHTE zihlangane itrain zibaleke la. I would have long Razzmatazz would have long delivered this thing, right? But nihleli phosi komsebenzi aniwenzi lo msebenzi wobuyisa ama train because kuyantshontshwa la. You are not finishing this job of bringing back the trains. Under the carpet deals, they give you money and all of that. Those things are not going to take you anywhere. Nowhere. They won't take you anywhere. Let's bring back the train and let's exploit the goodwill and the work that has been covered. It shows that this work can be done. I'm very impressed. I've seen right here where we are that some of the stations have been brought down. And then I've seen in the Naledi lane that you are in the... I wish that this can explode. This become the intensification of the explosion. Let us see dust everywhere. Mazibulawe zonke lezi station that are not operating and you upgrade them. There's no reason why you are stopping. Faka ama container la. There's nobody who's going to steal a container. Diabana kabantu abakhulumayo and andiyazi nokuthi bebezofunani la ngoba zimmarshal. I'm talking to serious people here who are supposed to go and implement what I'm talking about. And the only people who are talking is either they are selling peanuts down there, and I'll buy some when I leave here. But the people who are working here at PRASA must listen to me properly. Okay? And I don't have time for clowns. I don't. Nami angimangala ngoba ngifuna ucomputer no pushir. Dimelana because sinenkinga la yamatini. Or ndi computer nabafundisi. Ngaze ngabiza umuntu orongo. Computer nabafundisi abalungileyo abama ku pulpit bashumayele. Dimela because sinenkinga enkulu kakhulu that affect umphakathi wethu about transportation. And trains make an intervention. Abantu abana gesi, abana petrol, imali ziyonyuka. And we've got trains. Mili train zipakile. So we can't fix the road for the train. The road is the road for the train. We can't fix it. I said to get the trains running. What needs a strategic leadership that is going to take decisions. Uguti, whilst the stations are standing, mazibe ziyahamba itrain. Faki security. Mazihambe. That's what we need to do. And this is why I'm talking so long. And at least there are no TV. They left us early today. Kushegen nje mhlawumbi there has been. Uyi TV now? Okay. So at least I'm speaking, there is no television here. We are bamkile bashile. So this is real, colleague. The managers must manage. And I expect the board to explode. If you are still going to interview people for positions, at least appoint the right people to act. Don't put people with no capacity to act in positions. Don't. And monitor this process. And I know you've got the capacity to do that. Usugala apo, usuga namhlanje sizoxabana great. Zobethu inqindi ngoku. Usuga namhlanje. So le ibi notice bendininika yona. Ningayikhohlwa is the longest speeches Lula Nazca Fidel Castro. I'm giving you notice today that we are going to box hood. We are going to fight disigum tangoku. Uyabona la akitsibi rank ke mo PRASA montate sergeant or constable mo montate wa disigum talapha. I'm throwing line today. It's not going to be nice. Akuzuba mnandi kakhulu. We have put deadlines. September, October. and back to Cape Town. And then we're going to move people on the central line. You've got our support. Chairman, you've got our support, and everybody else. And move with speed. All of you, you've got our support. I'm repeating it now in public. You've got my support and the support of this government to deliver. But failure to deliver is okwenza ukuthi sixabane kakhulu. And I'm not going to keep people who are not helping us here. And it's the last time I address. And I'm telling you, you are doing a good job. Focus on the job. Yegani into eseqaleni. Si addresseni nazo, but don't make them key. Ngoba kekho into engekho ecaleni ezongenela. But don't elevate certain things and make them key. When the trains are not running, people are not meeting the deadlines, management is doing as it wishes here. Don't. Focus on the task and deliver. That's what I want. And I'll support you on that. You will never see me here. I'll disappear. And then Angeli report chairman board. And then meet with the board. It's not an easy place. I'm not saying it's easy, but I think if we pull more, if we pull a little bit more, we'll be very far. And I'm not saying that you can turn it around, but it can. I believe now the trains should be back by now, as we speak. Everywhere in the country, the trains should be back, except Western Cape, where people have decided to build on top of the tracks. But everywhere, the trains should be back. We should be addressing other issues. Modernization and all of that. We should be addressing those things. Not to go to Sihluleka ukubuyisa ma-train. Makabuya ma-train. Makabuye. Let them come back. Thank you very much, Ndiabulela. Enkosi. Viva PRASA, viva! Viva PRASA, viva! Phambili ngomsebenzi phambili. Fatsi ka di ruhwana fatsi. Fatsi ka di atamaruhwana fatsi. Fatsi ka magodu fatsi. Phansi nge-state capture phansi. Phambili ngePRASA phambili. Ndiyabona masengikhuza lezi zinto siba yifiu. Thank you very much.